Recording in progress.
Okay. Looks like it's 4 o'clock, everyone, so I'll go ahead and get started now. Let me just make sure my screen is reading properly. We have everything here. Okay, great. Oh, hi, Rudy. Do you have your hand up? Okay, can you hear us, Rudy? I can't hear you. Okay, I'll go ahead and get started. Sounds good. I can see the thumbs up sign. Okay, hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm back from maternity leave and very happy to be here. So thank you. Thank you for joining us at our third quarterly AB 617 Community Steering Committee meeting for Southeast Los Angeles for 2025. Many of you know me, but for those of you who don't, my name is Gina Treviso. I'm a Senior Public Affairs Specialist with the South Coast AQMD, the Southeast Los Angeles Community Liaison, and the facilitator for today's meeting. Before we begin, please allow me to review some general instructions for the meeting for those that may be joining us for the first time. First, to ensure that you hear this meeting in the correct language, everyone please go to the bottom of your screen and click on the globe icon labeled interpretation. From there, you need to select either English or Spanish. After you select your language, if you still happen to hear both languages, please click the mute original audio button. Please note that there is also a Spanish phone line set up for this meeting. It has the same call-in number, but a different meeting ID. The Spanish meeting ID is 932-0955-9643. Now I will pause for a moment to allow our interpreter to give that information out in Spanish. So please go ahead, Claudia or Ryan.
Hola, mi nombre es Claudia y junto con Ryan Kelly vamos a ser sus intérpretes inglés-español el día de hoy. Para acceder a la reunión en español van a tener que hacer clic en el globo que está en la parte inferior de su pantalla y hacer clic donde dice español. Ahí, si escuchan los dos idiomas, le pueden hacer clic en donde dice silenciar el audio original. Si usted está utilizando celular o tableta, en la parte inferior va a tener que hacer clic en los 3 puntos que están a la derecha, ahí hacer clic donde dice interpretación o interpretation, dependiendo la configuración de su Zoom, y seleccionar donde dice Spanish, y si escucha los dos idiomas, hacer clic en silenciar audio original. La línea de español telefónico es +1 669 900 6833 con el ID 93209559643. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. Okay, additionally, everyone, please be aware that this video conference meeting is being recorded. By participating in this webinar hosted by South Coast AQMD, you agree to authorize recording of audio and visual content presented during the live event and consent to subsequent use of the recording in the public domain by South Coast AQMD. Please note that CSC members can participate in today's discussion in any of the following ways. 1, by raising your hand. 2, by typing your question in the chat. 3, if you're calling in by phone, press *9 on your keypad to signal that you'd like to comment and *6 to unmute yourself. Or the 4th way is you could send questions in via email. You can always do that by emailing our team at ab617comments@aqmd.gov. Both staff and CSC members will be unmuted throughout the meeting, but we ask that you mute yourself if you are not talking in order to cut down on unintended background noise. The public comment period will occur as usual after the conclusion of staff presentations and CSC questions and comments. If you would like to make public comment at the end of this meeting, please click on the raise hand button at the bottom of the Zoom screen. Or if you'd prefer to make a public comment via email, please do so by sending your comment to that same email inbox, ab617comments@aqmd.gov. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what's on our agenda for today. Perfect, we got the slide up. Okay, first we were going to begin with CSC member and community news. Then we'll hear an update from staff regarding the Green Space Program and Clean Truck Lanes objective. This will be followed by information regarding 2 new incentive programs we want to introduce you to. And lastly, Adriana Hernandez from the California Air Resources Board, CARB, is here to provide us with CARB news. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's start off by asking to hear from the community. Are there any CSC members who have event news or just any information they would like to share today? If so, please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see any raised hands, so can we get the next slide, please? Okay, so I have some community news to share. We have two important upcoming AB 617 events to tell you about. First, there will be an all CSC virtual meeting on Wednesday, August 20th from 5 to 7 p.m. That's next week. This meeting is the annual progress report for the AB 617 Community Emissions Reduction Plan, CERPS. CSC members are highly encouraged to attend. We want to discuss with you what worked in the CERP, what hasn't yet, what could use improvement, what do you want to see happen next, etc. So please join us on Wednesday of next week. Represent SELA, of course, and make your voice heard. Next slide, please. Second, there will be a second annual AB 617 community engagement event on Saturday, October 25th. It will be an in-person event and details will be shared as they are finalized. This event is a great chance for the various South Coast AQMD CSC members to be in space with each other and to celebrate community successes. There will be expert panels, a resource fair, interactive workshops, guest speaker, and more. So please save the date of October 25th and join us. And let's see. I hear we have another announcement that I wasn't quite ready for, but I'm happy to have it. Carlos, I think I have a legislative update coming from Carlos Gonzalez. Let's give Carlos a moment because I just promoted him to the panelist side of the meeting.
How you all doing?
Hi, thank you, Carlos.
So I'm sorry, I apologize. You asked me anything?
Oh, I was told you have a legislative update. Is that?
Oh, I apologize.
That's
Yes,
correct?
I'm sorry. I'm in a couple different Zooms, but yes, look, I guess what I wanted to connect with everybody is that this last Tuesday, we had a webinar on 617 that went to all staffers in the state assembly. The goal of the webinar was to educate specifically new members and new staffers on what the SIX program is and what it does, right? And how it is integrated and how community-based basically works on it, right? The goal of this conversation is just to educate folks. I think a lot of folks in the state capitol right now, specifically newer members, don't really know what 617 is. And even when you talk about AB 617, folks believe it's normally, this year's bill. And so after we had a very successful event, we had about over 50 staffers from both the Senate and the Assembly that ultimately, learned about what this was happening. The goal of this is to eventually having a follow-up conversation this next Tuesday with Assembler Solache, one of our champions, to eventually push a perspective or conversational letter that ultimately gets us funding in this year's budget. So that's for like the update that I had with folks, that people are very interested, that staffers understand and know what the program is about, and that ultimately our goal is to hopefully educate as many people as we can on what we're doing so we can eventually get what we need up in Sacramento.
Got it. Well, thank you, Carlos. Is there anyone here that would like to ask for, a question for Carlos while we have him here? Carlos, sorry, this kind of happened on the fly, so I didn't give you a chance to properly introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So my name is Carlos Gonzalez. I'm new to South Coast. This is my official 8th day. I come from the state legislature. I am the new assistant executive director here at CARB at LPAM. So goal and perspective is to educate, other legislators or, both in the Senate and the Assembly that about what we do and ultimately what we can do and how they can be helpful.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. And like you said, if anyone has a question right now, let me know. Otherwise, we'll thank Carlos for his time and go on to the next slide. Okay. Thank you, Carlos. Sounds good. Okay. So this next slide here is just me showing you the schedule of the SELA CSE specifically. As you can see here, today is our third quarterly meeting of 2025, and our last meeting of the year will be Thursday, October 30th. And you can see here that the first two meetings of 2026 have been scheduled already. And those will be held on Thursday, February 26th and Thursday, May 7th. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, does anyone have any questions so far before I go into the updated stipend policy? About the schedule or CSE membership, anything of that nature? Okay. Let me get to this slide here because this is our new updated stipend policy. It's recently undergone some changes. Starting immediately, eligible CSE members will receive $100 for each CSE meeting they attend. Please note, though, that compensation is limited to a maximum of 10 meetings per month. To be eligible to receive a stipend, members must meet the following criteria: be a current primary or alternate member of the CSE, reside within the community boundary of the CSE that they are serving at the time of the meeting, complete and submit all required forms, which, to be more specific, are a W-9, the California Form 590, and a stipend qualification declaration form. Finally, the member must present primarily community residents, because members who primarily represent the following are not eligible for stipends: businesses or business organizations, labor unions, community organizations, universities or schools, hospitals or utilities, government agencies, elected officials, and neighborhood councils. To receive payment, all stipend forms must be submitted within 120 days of the meeting. Late submissions may not be processed, so please keep track of the deadlines. And next slide, please. If you have any questions or need help at all with the stipend forms, we encourage you to attend our monthly office hours. These occur every first Thursday of the month from 10:30 to 11 a.m. with staff assistant Carolina Vargas. She's here to help you, as am I. So if you have any questions about your eligibility, the required forms, or anything at all related to stipend procedure, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help ensure the process is smooth and accessible for everyone. Okay, so do I have any questions about the stipends right now? If not, that's okay. If you want to save it for the end of the meeting, that's fine. Or you can email me. And I think Rudy has a question, but I thought your microphone wasn't working. Let me see if it's working now. Hey, Rudy, does it work? No, we're not able to hear you. That's okay. You can type it in the chat or you can email me either way. And I'll read it a little bit later in the meeting. Okay. Okay. I don't see any other hands raised at this time. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to Air Quality Specialist Nish Krishnamurthy. He will be giving us an update on the Green Space program that is part of the SERP, of course, for SELA. So please go ahead, Nish.
Great. Thanks, Gina. So hi, everybody. My name is Nish Krishnamurthy. I'm an air quality specialist here at the district, where, amongst other things, I help implement the SELA Green Space program for the SELA community. Next slide, please. So in Objective B of Chapter 5D of the SERP, the CSE included an objective for us to evaluate and seek opportunity and resources in an effort to green space in the community. And the purpose of my presentation here is to provide an update on the awards for the SELA Green Space Program Request for Proposals, or RFP. And I've included a link here to the bottom so you can view that SERP language. Next slide, please. So I just want to give you a background as to the RFP projects. So we received 4 applications, 3 of which were eligible. Staff had completed their review, and we were able to obtain CSC feedback as to their reviews for each of the projects, as well as their preferences for the funding options for each of the projects. Staff sent award notices to the applicants, all 3 of them accepted. We've since met with the awardees in the past few weeks to begin the contract development process. Next slide. So we just wanted to give you an overview of each of the 3 projects, as well as the project awarded amounts. So the Los Angeles Neighborhood Land Trust, their project in Maywood would involve a renovation of a 5.2-acre park, which would plant 100 trees and create a recreation space. This park is the Maywood Riverfront Park along the LA River next to Cudahy. They requested the full $2.5 million grant amount, and we estimate that their project will increase the tree canopy by around a little over 17,500 to 471,500 square feet, and we awarded them $2 million. The City of Vernon's projects would involve planting a little over 1,600 trees along sidewalks, and they requested the full $2.5 million grant amount as well. And we estimate that their project would have increased the tree canopy by a little over 560,000 square feet. And then the City of Bell Gardens project involves planting 50 trees along sidewalks and medians, and they requested around $43,900. And we estimate that their project will increase the tree canopy from around 9,000 to a little over 25,000 square feet. And we awarded them the full amount requested, so $43,907. You'll notice that the 2 of the numbers here have asterisks next to them, and that's to note and acknowledge that the awarded amounts is less than the amount that was requested. It is also to acknowledge that, or to point out that their projects, the scope of the projects will change because that amount is requested. The amount that was awarded is less than requested. And so those details will be hammered out during the contract development phase, or during the contract development process. Also, just want to point out that the awarded amounts that we show here is what the CSC of the amounts that the CSC voted for at the previous meeting. Next slide. So currently we're in the contract development phase. As I mentioned, we've met with all 3 of the applicants to develop and negotiate the contract. And we hope to have that done by, or we'll be working on that throughout the remainder of the summer. After that, once both parties are in agreement, we will then execute the contract. And that will then initiate project implementation. And we hope to have that completed towards the end of the summer, so mid to late September. And then the first phase of project implementation is the first phase, or phase 1 of project implementation, which involves documentation gathering. And the awardees have 12 weeks to complete that. And so we hope that they have that phase 1 documentation gathering complete by towards the end of the fall of this year. Next slide. And so if you have any questions, you can please feel free to reach out to me or Robert using the contact information mentioned here. If you have any other questions about the AB 617 program, you can always reach out to our general inquiries page or general inquiries email at ab617@aqmd.gov. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Liz Ruiz has a question. Please go ahead, Liz.
Can you share who the fourth applicant was, or is that something that's confidential?
Yeah, I mean, they're a public company. They're called AGSA. I'm not sure what the acronym stands for, but they are a company that does do green space projects throughout the country. And I'm being told that their acronym stands for American Green Zones Alliance.
Right. And my other question is, I know that we had trouble getting applicants for this, and I'm wondering what you guys were able to change to accommodate for more applicants. I know as far as with the city of Southgate, at least when I spoke to them, their concerns had to do with just the amount of work reporting back due to just the staffing time it takes. Is that something that was able to kind of change or
Yeah, so like what we ended up doing, right? So as the CEC might be aware, right, we had that first phase, the first round of or the initial release of the RFP that ended in May 2nd of 2024, and we didn't get any applications. And so what we ended up doing then is we just spent the summer of 2024 just doing a lot of outreach, reaching out, meeting with applicants or potential applicants, and trying to like heed their concerns. And so something that we did was we allowed projects to go beyond just the SELA community boundary and into the mission study area. That's one thing, one change. The other change is that we increased the amount of funds that could go towards non-construction cost. So we increased that from 10% of the grant to 25% of the grant. And then we increased the amount of contingency costs. And I think at the previous iteration of the RFP, we only allowed up to 5%, and then we upped that to 10%. And those changes were made at the feedback that we received from CSC or from potential applicants. And so we went to CARB, we changed the project plan, got their approval, and then reissued the RFP after getting all that feedback in September of 2024, and we closed the application in February of this year. And so, yeah, I think it's those three changes that I mentioned that was able to entice more people to apply.
got it? Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for the question, Liz. Yeah, and thank you, Nish, for explaining that. Do we have any other questions regarding the Green Space program? Okay, I'm going to go back then and read a question. I know Rudy was trying to ask, but his mic is not working, so he put it in the chat. His question is, can we help those individuals who participate in the meetings but do not live in the requirement? I think meaning in the boundary. Because the majority of us use our private time from work or use our PTO from work in order to attend these meetings. Now, I know that is the guideline. It actually comes from CARB, the California Air Resources Board. I don't know that we have anyone that could speak to that here, but that is the current guideline, and we can put your comment, your concern, Rudy, into CARB. I know we have some people here from CARB, but we can make that known to them. And I see Arlene also, my supervisor, is here, and she has her hand raised. Go ahead, Arlene.
Hi, Rudy. Sorry we can't hear you. But hi, everyone. This is Arlene Farrell, Saria, Public Affairs Manager with our AB 617 program. So really happy to hear that, we're trying to utilize our stipend compensation for our CSC members. And so highly encourage all those who are residents that are part of our CSC that either live, work, or go to school within the boundary, and certainly want to encourage folks to apply for those stipends. And so if you are interested in that, or if you are a resident and on the CSC, please reach out to Gina so that we can make sure that all our CSC members are compensated properly. And, Rudy, when maybe after this meeting, if you have some other ideas on how to encourage that, be happy to talk to you as well. So thanks, Gina.
Thanks, Arlene. And thank you, Rudy. Thank you for being involved. We'll continue to talk and put forward your comment there. Okay, and I think we're all good, Nish, so I don't see any more questions for you. So I'm going to go ahead and ask for the next slide, please. Okay. Up next, we're going to hear from Mafe Ruivivar from the SERP team regarding clean truck lanes. So please go ahead, Mafe.
Thank you, Gina. Do I sound okay?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, so yeah, let me introduce myself again. My name is Mafir Vivivar, and I work in the AB 617 program at South Coast AQMD. I'll be giving a brief update on one of the completed objectives in the Southeast LA SERP, which focused on reducing emissions from trucks and freeway. Next slide, please. Okay, so this objective is focused on encouraging the designation of clean truck lanes on the I-710 freeway. The goal is to engage land use and transportation agencies like Caltrans and LA Metro through meetings and formal comment letters to support cleaner dedicated truck lanes. The implementation of this objective began in early 2021 and it is technically scheduled to be completed in the last quarter of 2025, but I am here to present to you today that this objective is complete. Next slide, please. All right, so here's a quick update on the progress made so far. So in February 2021, South Coast AQMD met with Caltrans and LA Metro to discuss incorporating clean truck lanes into the I-710 widening project. We will go over what happened during the meetings in the next slide. Meanwhile, we developed and shared a CEQA frequently asked questions and a quick reference guide with the Community Steering Committee and local agencies to ensure the understanding of land use projects in AB 617 communities, such as the designation of clean truck lanes in I-710. To date, one formal comment letter has been submitted and meetings with agencies have occurred as part of our outreach. You can access the link to the FAQ and the reference guide at the bottom of this slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. All right. So as mentioned earlier, we have met with agencies to discuss the I-710 freeway expansion project. Following that meeting, LA Metro paused their plans to widen the I-710 freeway due to some concerns that the project would worsen air quality and displace communities adjacent to the freeway. However, efforts continue through the formation of the Long Beach to East LA Corridor Task Force. The Metro Board established the task force to help develop recommendations for the Corridor Mobility Investment Plan, which includes clean truck-related strategies. The goal is to create a more community-friendly approach addressing air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. The recommendations include a combination of infrastructure projects, community-supported initiatives, and forward-looking multimodal planning, all guided by equity, sustainability, and community-informed priorities developed through the task force process. South Coast AQMD will be sure to stay involved throughout the process and share any updates with the CSC. For reference, you can access the link to the plan at the bottom of this slide. So to wrap this all up, this plan replaces the original I-710 widening project with a new community-centered approach for mobility, long-term health, and environmental justice, which marks this objective completed. South Coast AQMD will continue to advocate for cleaner and healthier air and ensure sustained process through community-driven solutions and collaborative efforts. Thank you again for your time, and this concludes my presentation. Back to you, Gina.
Okay. Always good to hear about that good completed objective. And before we move on, are there any questions for the SERP team regarding that clean truck lane objective? I see one hand raised. Jojo, CSE member Jojo, please go ahead.
Hi Gina. Hi everybody. I was just wondering, I don't know if I heard correctly, but did you mention there was the report that came out of this also? Just wanted to clarify.
No, no report per se. It's just a new task force that will
Now
be
you
working,
can
that will be working as they work on the expansion.
Sorry, we got interrupted slightly because I think Rudy's mic just started working.
did it work?
It did, but
Good. Okay, sorry.
and in the meantime, I'm sorry, Win-Win, if you could repeat what you were saying right there.
Sorry, let me clarify. What report were you looking for? Oh, I'm sorry. Win-Win Vo, I'm one of the managers on our AB 617 team.
Yeah, I was just asking, I wasn't sure if I heard correctly if there was a report that was developed after you know, there was a stop of the expansion, but then I don't know if I heard correctly that there was like another approach that y'all took, like a community-centered approach. I was wondering if that was like in the form of a report or anything like that.
Yeah, so for the community approach, on the slide here, there's the link to the new corridor mobility investment plan.
Gotcha, thank you. Is there a way I can access that link?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
type in
we
the chat.
can drop the link to the chat. It's the link right here on the slide, the corridor mobility investment plan. So yeah, we can drop this link right into the chat so you could take a look.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jojo. And Mafe, Win-Win, thank you. Okay, do we have any other questions for the team? Doesn't look like it. So, okay, great. Can we get the next slide, please? Oh, sorry, Rudy. Rudy has a question. Please go ahead.
I have a question. So is the proposed 710 freeway, is that being suspended or is it going to continue? Is it pending? When that might come back in the future?
Hi, Rudy. Yeah, thank you for the question. That's a great question. Yeah, so while it's true that the I-710 widening project is currently suspended, at this time, there is no clear timeline or indication of if or when the project might move forward again. But however, what we do know is that South Coast AQMD will continue to advocate in shifting our focus toward the more community-driven solutions, and we will let CSE members know if there would be any updates about the Clean Truck Lanes project. Thank you.
The reason I'm asking because the city of LA, the Karen Bass office, listed about several months ago expansion of the freeways, remodeling here and there. So I'm trying to figure out versus what she said from her office was going to happen in LA, even though it's not part of LA area, but she's talking about the Olympics. So that's not going to happen regardless. I'm just asking that point. I'm trying to, because they're two different stories. I just want to understand who's telling the truth, not telling the truth, or is this going to happen, not happen?
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks.
Rudy. So yeah, that's an important question. I would like to pass on to my manager, Wenwen, who's better positioned to answer your question.
Thank you.
Hi, Rudy.
Hi.
As you know, we're not the primary agency of the 710 expansion. So we are just trying to pass on information as we know it to the CSC. If you want to send over what you read from Karen Bass's office, I think is what you said, we're more
Yes,
than happy to look at it. And
I'll
then
send that.
assess from there.
I'll send that to Gina if you don't mind. That okay with you?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, yep, send it over, Rudy, and I will make sure that Wenwen and the team get it. But I see Pedro is raising his hand. Did you want to jump in there, Pedro?
Yeah, I just want to also let everybody know that if you'd like to learn more information on this project, on the Long Beach East LA Corridor Mobility Investment Plan, which is basically the subsequent plan for the canceled 710 expansion project, there is a task force meeting on August 20th from 6 to 8. I dropped the link in the chat, and you can access the meeting information where you can learn more about the status of the project. And I'm Pedro Piqueras, by the way. I'm a program supervisor here at South Coast QMD.
Yeah, thank you for dropping that in the chat. I can see that, Pedro. Perfect. Thank you. Amber had a question, and then I see Rudy's hand is up again. So please go first, Amber.
Hey, thank you everyone. I really appreciate these updates. Winwin already kind of brought this up combined with my question, but I understand AQMD does not have jurisdiction over 710. But I'm just curious, is there any rule or policy where AQMD stands on, like against displacement? Because I think, that was one of the words of the 710 project before. Like it was going to expand crazy lanes, right? And it was like inevitable, right? In that previous plan, that displacement would happen of businesses and homes, right? And I know Janice Hahn, District 4, I believe. Yeah. And I think it was last year they said like, yeah, like we're gonna be hard on no displacement, zero displacement, right? I'm just curious, does AQMD have a stance like that? Like zero displacement as kind of like an air quality measure as well? It's combined with transportation. I'm just wondering. I don't know all the rules, obviously, but if there's no answer for it right now, that's totally fine. I'm happy to follow up in email. But I'm just curious, like, where does AQMD stand at least when it comes to like displacement in connection to transportation projects?
So I'd like to try to answer that. I'm Mike Morris, Planning and Rules Manager. So our agency as a whole doesn't take a position on that. We're not a land planning agency. We do try to comment on the environmental issues when they have a project like this. And earlier we mentioned in the in Mafe's presentation that we did provide a comment to that original plan. If another plan does come out, we will comment again.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it.
Okay, and Rudy has another question. Thanks for jumping in, by the way, Mike. Go ahead, Rudy.
I just want to concur what you said earlier, the displacement. Is there any way that we the CSS Celia group can participate or let them know how we feel about it without so we understand the concept, what's going to happen, what's going to go on, without being blindsided in the future, or if it's going to happen and we don't know about it, because it's going to be inconvenience to a lot of people sometimes, and not everybody gets to read or update information what's going on in the area. You know what I mean? Some of us are privileged that we understand the government, wording or subject of matter, but some don't. Is there any way that some of us can form a committee or trying to find out to participate in some way?
Yeah, Rudy, great question and comment. You saw that Pedro just gave some information in the chat with a link for the task force and community leadership meeting. So I think
which one is it? Because there's which one that the one is it link to register that one there?
Yes, that one.
So they have a series of meetings. They have the community leadership committee meeting, they have zero emission truck community meeting. So they have several topics. So if you go to the last link that I shared, LB East LA Corridor Plan, lametro.hub.arcgis.com. That one has all the meetings listed there. You can register. Some of them offer dinner. Some of them you can access online. Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities to learn about this plan.
Gina, you think you can? I mean, because I gotta write it. I don't want to leave the
I can
meeting.
email it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, yeah, thank you for providing it all here, Pedro. And I can email that to CSE members, but in particular, Rudy as well. Because yeah, if you want to be part of that particular group and make your voice heard there, that would be awesome. It does happen to be on August 20th, though, next week. Same day as our APR meeting, but those sound like two very important meetings. So if you're interested in that, I will share that information as well for those of you. I know some of you are already involved in that task force and sometimes tell us about it. But for those of you who don't already know, I can share that info out right after this meeting. Of course, it's in the chat as well. Thank you, Pedro. Okay, I'm going to put your hand down now, Rudy. I think that was all the questions we had, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Rudy. All right. Now we already have the slide up. So now I'd like to ask Alan Wang, Air Quality Specialist in our Technology and Advancement Division, to take the mic because he is going to give us an overview of the incentive program known as Invest Clean. Go ahead, Alan.
Good afternoon, Alan Wang, South Coast AQMD Air Quality Specialist. I'm with the incentives team in technology advancement. I'm here today to present 3 incentive programs that are currently either open or going to open soon. They are Invest Clean, the Voucher Incentive Program, and the South Coast AQMD Electric Program. Next slide, please. The Invest Clean is a EPA grant awarded under the Inflation Reduction Act. We have been awarded approximately $500 million. We have partnered with 2 metropolitan statistical areas, MSAs. The first is Los Angeles, Long Beach, Anaheim. The second is Riverside, San Bernardino, and Ontario. The purpose of Invest Clean is for the modernization of Southern California goods movement and logistics networks. We want to reduce air pollution and provide air quality benefits to the region. We also want to support existing jobs and logistics networks in the area, and we aim to leverage funding to maximize emissions reductions. Next slide, please. We have 4 measures for Invest Clean. Measure 1 is charging infrastructure. Measure 2 is battery electric freight vehicles. This is mostly electric trucks. All of these measures have their own slides. Measure 3 is battery electric cargo handling equipment. Measure 4 is battery electric locomotives and supporting infrastructure. We also offer workforce training in partnership with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers and the National Electric Contractors Association. Some community benefits include third-party facilitators to create community steering committees and to develop the community benefit plan. For additional information and details, you may visit the Invest Clean webpage listed below. Next slide, please. The 4 measures have been awarded approximately the following amounts. For Measure 1, it is $178.5 million. Measure 2, $78 million. Measure 3, $20.6 million. Measure 4, $190.8 million. Next slides, please. Measure 1, eligible entities include entities that propose to develop and operate electric charging infrastructure to support heavy-duty vehicles involved in goods movement. The infrastructure equipment, we allow a rebate up to $700 per kilowatt. You will submit your project and an evaluation will be done to determine how much funding you may receive. Some installation costs are eligible for the rebate, and the rebate can only be used for the equipment on the consumer side of the utility meter or behind the meter. The project location must be in one of the 2 MSAs. Two requirements that must be followed are Build America, Buy America, and the installing electricians must be EVIPT certified. Next slide, please. For measure 2 is split up in several submeasures. 2.1 is for heavy duty battery electric class 8 vehicles. The rebate per vehicle is up to $400,000 per vehicle. Eligible entities include fleet and or equipment owners. The equipment must be domiciled located in one of the two MSAs. Existing equipment requirements are for class 8 heavy duty vehicles with a gross weight of 33,001 pound or more involved in goods movement. They need to be diesel fueled. The replacement has to be a new battery electric class 8 heavy duty vehicle also involved in goods movement. Next slide, please. Measure 2.2, the last mile freight program, is for class 4 and 5 battery electric vehicles. You can think of these as UPS and or FedEx delivery trucks. These are some examples of vehicles. 2.2 aims to develop an implementation plan and program announcement for how the rebate program will be administered. Details will be provided at a later date. We will include a stakeholder engagement and outreach, seeking input from public agencies, local industries, and local communities. Vehicle replacement through this program will require scrappage of the old vehicle to achieve emissions reductions goals. Next slide, please. Measure 2.2, continued. Eligible entities, again, fleet owners, original engine manufacturers, OEMs, and dealerships. Operating location, the vehicles must be domiciled in one of the two MSAs. Existing equipment requirements, they need to be diesel-fueled mobile vehicles, and they need to be medium-duty vehicles used in goods movement. For the replacement, the new vehicle must be a battery electric class 4 and class 5 vehicle, also used in goods movement. The rebate for measure 2.2 will not exceed $67,000 per vehicle. Next slide.
Alan, if I could stop you for just a moment before we go to that next slide. Our interpreter has her hand up, so I wanted to see if something's wrong. Claudia? Okay, everything's all fine now? Sorry about that, Alan. Please go ahead.
That's fine. For measure 3 is battery electric cargo handling equipment. Eligible entities include fleet owners and operators. Again, the equipment must be domiciled in one of the two MSAs. For existing equipment, they need to be diesel or natural gas fueled cargo handling equipment. As of right now, the only equipment types we are allowing for a rebate include top handlers, yard trucks. Other equipment may be allowed at a later time, and we will make a new program announcement for that. For yard trucks, the rebate amount is up to $300,000. For top handlers, the rebate amount is up to $400,000. The replacement equipment must be a battery electric cargo handling equipment. Next slide, please. Measure 4. We have already started to accept applications since June 6th of this year. Eligible applicants are manufacturers partnered with a rail operator and locomotive switcher owners and or operators in the two MSAs. We will allow a parallel path for locomotive and infrastructure build. This will allow for flexible staggered deployment and scrappage opportunities of existing diesel locomotives. There will be a minimum usage requirement for this measure. Next slide, please. We have 2 displacement operations for the wind down and or scrappage of the old locomotive. This will allow time to fix deficiencies on the battery electric switcher locomotive because it needs to be operating when scrapped or able to operate when scrapped. And this will also allow for the proper workforce training before the new one comes in. Next slide, please. For measures 1, 2.1, and 3, we have published the following information schedule for the proposals. Solicitation will release on August 15th, 2025. and the subsequent deadlines are as follows. Next slide, please. For Measure 4, battery electric switcher locomotive, there is a different proposal timeline. We have already issued RFP. The RFP submission deadline is September 30th, and the subsequent deadlines are as follows. If necessary, the RFP will be reissued, but not at this time. Next slide, please. For any questions and concerns about InvestClean, please send an email to investclean@aqmd.gov. And please ensure that any trade secret information being provided has been marked accordingly in all documentation provided. Next slide, please. The voucher incentive program will open late 2025. This is a truck replacement program limited to fleets of 20 or fewer vehicles. The fleets must be in compliance with ARB regulations because this is an ARB program, not an EPA program. The trucks must be at least 75 operation in California. This will be a first come, first served basis. The process has been streamlined. You will need to contact your local truck dealership, and they will apply on your behalf. This program is limited to Class 4 trucks with a gross vehicle weight of 14,001 pounds or greater. The replacement truck must be zero emission. The rebate amount is up to $410,000 per truck. The voucher will be based on annual miles for the past 2 years. The old truck must have an engine model year of at least 6 years old. Existing truck can be diesel or alternative fuel such as LNG or natural gas. If you have any questions, you may visit the website www.aqmd.gov/VIP or contact Ash Nickervan. Contact details included below. Next slide, please. The South Coast AQMD Electric Program is another EPA program awarded also under the Inflation Reduction Act, but separate from InvestClean. We have been awarded approximately $33 million for electric. The program's purpose and goals is the electrification of Class 6 and 7 goods movement vehicles, trucks, essentially. We offer charging infrastructure support, and we want to reduce emissions and exposure in residential neighborhoods. Next slide, please. The electric program eligible entities are fleet and equipment owners. The operating location is the South Coast AQMD jurisdiction, which is LA County, Orange County, San Bernardino County, Riverside County. The existing equipment requirements: the vehicle must be a Class 6 or 7, which is a gross vehicle weight of 19,501 pounds to 33,000 pounds. They need to be involved in goods movement and powered by an internal combustion engine. The replacement equipment needs to be a new battery electric Class 6 or 7 heavy-duty vehicle involved in goods movement. 3 example vehicle types include the step van, a TRU truck, and a box truck. Maximum rebates are listed on the right. The rebate will pay up to 65% of the vehicle cost. The rest can be applied to a charger. Next slide, please. The South Coast AQMD Electric Program timeline is as follows. Application period will open August 15th. Program applications will close September 30th, and the subsequent dates are listed. If you have any questions about the AQMD Electric Program, please email electric@aqmd.gov. This will conclude my presentation. If you have any questions, please type it in the chat or send an email to the aforementioned emails. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Alan. Like you said, you can send them questions there. That's probably the preferred method, but does anyone have any comments or questions right now before we move on to the next incentive? No. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alan. Oh, sorry, I spoke too soon. Jocelyn or Jojo has a question for you.
Hi, this is just more of a general question, but I was just wondering what are the different outreach methods that AQMD engages in for these different incentives?
So they may be determined at a later time, but primarily we would have Zoom webinars such as this one. We may have in-person outreach events at the different location, the two MSAs. And there may be other outreach events scheduled in the future, but we have not planned any of them as of yet.
Can you say, Alan, when you would expect that to get started?
We are open to suggestions from the CSCs for this. We would anticipate to have the outreach sometime after the application period opens and before the programs close accepting applications. But again, this is to be determined at this time.
Okay. Well, maybe it's something that CSC members who are part of community organizations could assist with. And of course, we would love, CSC to help with the outreach if possible. And we could also talk to you a little bit more about that as well, Alan. Maybe, we'd like to be more involved in the process too. So thank you. Okay, thank you, Jocelyn. Any other questions? Okay. As the time gets closer, the application process, Jojo, we'll be sure to send out emails, e-blasts, those are newsletters, basically that type of thing for this. And we'll let you know as it gets a little bit closer of any events, in-person events, that type of thing we could do. Oh, and thank you, Jasmine. I just read your comment. We'd love your assistance. We can maybe, Liz is writing, it would be great to be able to share posts/emails, maybe directed to our local Chamber of Commerce folks. It's a great suggestion. Amber is giving it the seal of approval as well. Yeah, definitely. So thank you very much, CSC members. We will definitely be in touch with that as well as with Alan's team. We'll connect you all. Thank you. Okay, can I get the next slide, please? Okay, now we have another incentive program to introduce you all to. This is the Go Zero incentive program. And Marissa Poon from our Planning, Rule Development, and Implementation Division is here to tell you all about it. So please go ahead, Marissa.
Hello, I am Marissa Poon, South Coast AQMD Admin Assistant from the Planning and Rules Department. So the South Coast AQMD is launching the Go Zero incentive program. Next slide, please. So what is the Go Zero incentive program? So the program includes rebates for replacing gas furnaces and water heaters with heat pumps for single family, multifamily, and small businesses. The program also includes outreach and application assistance and installer training. For more information on this program, you can check out our Go Zero webpage. If you can direct your eyes to the QR code, this green square we have on the right side, you can use your cell phone's camera function to scan the QR code, and that should directly take you to our Go Zero webpage. Or you can simply type the URL into your browser, aqmd.gov/GoZero. So our webpage includes links to online rebate application portals and outreach materials. Next slide, please. So what is a heat pump? First off, let's talk about an air conditioner. This is something you probably are familiar with using during these hot summer days in Southern California. So an air conditioner brings cool air into a building, and similar to this, a heat pump brings heat into a building. Heat pumps are zero-emission appliances used to heat air or water. Most heat pumps draw heat from the air, and some use it to draw from the ground or water. Next slide, please. So here we have a breakdown of the $21 million we have for our program. We have $9 million for single family, $5 million for multifamily, $5 million for small business, $1 million for outreach and application assistance, and lastly, $1 million for installer training. Next slide, please. So 75% of rebate funding is for overburdened communities. And if you're wondering what is an overburdened community, it is defined in Senate Bill 535. So the zip codes of these communities are identified in this Senate bill. And if you are within Southeast Los Angeles, you are considered an overburdened community. If you are outside of Southeast Los Angeles, or maybe you have a friend or family who may be interested in our rebate program, they can check out Senate Bill 535 to see if their zip code is within these overburdened communities. Next slide, please. So here we have the respective rebate amounts by category. For a single family, we have $1,500 to replace the furnace, $1,000 to replace the water heater. And in the previous slide, we talked about overburdened communities. So if you are considered overburdened community, we have a rebate that is double the standard rebate. So we have $3,000 to replace the furnace, $2,000 to replace the water heater. And for multifamily, we have $1,000 to $2,000 per furnace or water heater. And for small businesses, we have $4,000 per water heater. Next slide, please. And for the installer training portion of our program, we have technical work needed to install heat pumps. This portion of the program also includes information on sizing and types of heat pumps for different applications. And the training will be held virtually and in person within the 4 counties in South Coast AQMD jurisdiction. Next slide, please. And lastly, our outreach and application assistance portion of our Go Zero program, we have information on heat pumps and other incentives. And if you need help with applying for the Go Zero rebate, or if you are interested in seeing if you are applicable to more savings on your heat pump, we also provide assistance for that. And for further details and updates, you can check out our Go Zero webpage. That was mentioned in the earlier slide, and you can also sign up for our Go Zero e-newsletter if you have not already, which I will go instructions on how to sign up at the end of this presentation. Next slide, please. And so common questions. If you are wondering about your eligibility for these rebates, you are eligible if you install qualified products within our South Coast AQMD jurisdiction. And if you are uncertain if you are within our jurisdiction, you can check out this link we have here to see if you are in our jurisdiction. Next question. So you are thinking the installer is installing your heat pump already. Is your installer able to apply the rebate on your behalf? The answer is yes. You can have your installer apply and receive the rebate on your behalf. And to do this, you will need to go through a release and rebate funds form. Next slide, please. For our Go Zero program, only certain products qualify for the rebates. And these include all electric heat pumps for space and water heating that, 1, are Energy Star certified, and 2, installed on or after these respective dates we have here. So if the heat pump is for the single family building, it will need to be installed on or after June 24th of this year. And for multifamily buildings or small businesses, the heat pump will need to be installed on or after June 13th of this year. Next slide, please. So our program includes a multifamily reservation system. So this system is used for if you are planning to install a heat pump for multifamily, either a property owner or installer may be interested in this. They can submit an application during the enrollment period to reserve the funds. This reservation system is a first come, first served basis while funding is still available, of course. The funds will be released upon completion of the heat pump installation. More details will be provided with the rebate application portal. And lastly, if you have a business and you're interested in a heat pump, but you are unsure if your business is considered small, a small business is 1, independently owned and operated, 2, has 10 employees or less, And 3, gross annual receipts of $500,000 or less, or a non-for-profit training center. Next slide, please. So if you are interested in receiving updates on our Go Zero program, as I mentioned earlier, you can sign up for our e-newsletter. And if you're not sure how to sign up, no worries, I'll show you how it's done. So to sign up, follow this link we have here, aqmd.gov/sign-up. And then you will need to fill in your email address in the field, look for Go Zero, check that checkbox, and scroll all the way down to the page and hit that subscribe button. But hold on, you're not done just yet. Look out for that email in your email inbox and click on that confirmation link, and then you're golden. Next slide, please. And we are open to questions right now, but if you can't think of a question right now, if you come up with one maybe later on, or if you have a friend or family who's interested, who has a question, you can shoot an email to our air quality specialists. Their email addresses are listed on this slide. And we will have a support line that will be available at program launch. And that concludes my presentation. Back to you, Gina.
That's great, Marissa. Thank you. I know people will have questions and they'll send them to those email addresses. But right now I see CSE member Jasmine Beltran has asked some things in our chat. She says she's interested in applying for multiple properties in Southgate. Do you know if Southgate is open to this? And then she's saying, wait, June 13th of this year? That must be June 13th of this coming year when you're referring to, correct?
I'll defer to my manager or Emily.
So the June 13th date is anything that was installed from June 14th going forward. So that's kind of when the program opened or started. So if you have applied, if you've installed something already, then those units would be applicable. But going to the future, as long as we still have funds, anything that is installed would be applicable to the program. And Southgate as well, that's within our jurisdiction. So yes, any homeowner or small business within the South Coast AQMD's jurisdiction is eligible for the program. We just have higher rebates for those that are in a community identified as overburdened. And sorry, my name's Heather Farr. I'm a planning and rules manager working on this incentive program.
Thank you, Heather. I think that answers your questions, Jasmine. But if not, as you can see, there's email addresses up there on the screen for you, and a whole hotline is being set up to help with this process. So you could, of course, use those. And if you aren't able to write those down or use those right now, you could always send the questions to me, everybody, and I will be sure to get them to this team. Okay. Thank you very much, Marissa. And thank you, Heather. Do we have, wait, do I see another hand up? Yeah, it looks like we have a non-CSU member asking a question. I think that would be okay right now since we have the time. Is that okay, Heather and Marissa? Clark, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Actually, you're really low.
Oh, here, I'll just get close to the mic.
There.
Is this better?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to ask. Just a quick question. This is Clark McIsaac with the Clean Power Alliance of Southern California. Just wanted to clarify, is the Go Zero rebate program open now, or if not, when is the program going to be open?
An excellent question. So technically, units that are installed after those dates, the June 13 or June 24, would be qualified, but we're still working. We haven't officially launched the program. So those dates are when we signed the contracts with our third party implementers. The answer is that they will be launching soon. When those portals are ready, it's pretty imminent. We will have outreach and press release and information through the Go Zero once we have that date finalized and we're ready to launch.
Outstanding. All right, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Clark. Thank you, Heather. Any other questions? No. Okay. Well, thanks again, Marissa. And if I can get the next slide, please. Okay. Lastly, CARB's Adriana Hernandez is here to give us a CARB update. Actually, I want to make sure she's here. I don't know that I've seen her on camera yet.
Yeah, I'm here.
There. Hey, Adriana, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, I am good. Please go ahead.
Okay, well, hello, SELA community. I'm an air pollution specialist at CARB and your CARB liaison. And I'm here once again to share some statewide news as well as updates on some projects. So let's begin with general statewide regulatory news, shall we? In 2023, we heard CARB approve the Advanced Clean Fleets regulation, which includes the drayage truck requirements to reduce tailpipe emissions by using zero emission technologies. We also saw CARB approve the in-use locomotive regulation to reduce emissions from locomotives and rail yards. And I invited some of our CARB staff to come tell us exactly how it would impact our SELA community. Since then, I've also shared with you back in January that California has withdrawn its request for a waiver and authorization for the addition of the Advanced Clean Fleets, or it's also known as the ACF regulation, and the in-use locomotive regulation to its emission control program. At this time, CARB is not enforcing the portions of the ACF regulation that apply to high priority or drayage fleets or the 100% ZEV cells requirement, but CARB is implementing the state and local government fleets portion of the ACF regulation. CARB is also proposing to repeal these portions with the board in order to decide on the repeal. They're going to meet in September 25th. They're going to hold a board hearing. So I've included the link here as well on the slide for you. Additionally, CARB is proposing amendments to increase flexibilities for public agencies' utility fleets in accordance with AB 1594. If you have any comments, I've added the link onto the slides for easy access where you can comment directly to the doc. We also saw at the end of June the in-use locomotive regulation go to the board as well. And the board approved the proposed repeal of the in-use locomotive regulation to remove it from the California Code of Regulations in order to avoid confusion and uncertainty for California locomotive operators. And due to ongoing litigation, I have no further information at this time, and I'm not authorized to discuss matters any further at this moment. But if you have any questions, please write them down and send me an email. With that being said, now let's shift the energy a little and focus on some positives that did happen in June. On the right side of the slide, you see some key community projects or updates that I wanted to put on your radar. The communities, or here's a little background before the first bullet, before I get on the first bullet. The communities selected into the Community Air Protection Program for a CAMP or a SERP development to date were always intended to serve as model communities to inform a suite of actions that could be applied in other impacted communities across the state, sort of like a pilot project, right? So CARB anticipated that over the next few years of the program, few, if any, additional communities would be selected due to various factors, like funding, of course. So I'm excited about this first bullet that we see here because it shows how your work within SELA boundaries can grow into something much more bigger, and it can impact new projects that are going to be launching with the state of California. So the California Air Resources Board announced the launch of the monitoring phase of the statewide mobile monitoring initiative. So this may sound familiar to you. This pilot project will deploy mobile air monitoring equipment to communities throughout the state beginning in June 2025. And CARB will use sensor equipment vehicles from ACLIMA and mobile laboratories operated by researchers from different universities to gather pollution data across the 64 communities. So these 64 communities, basically, over the past 5 years, community members, environmental justice organizations, and local air districts have consistently recommended dozens of communities for exposure and emission reduction efforts, resulting in what we call a consistently nominated communities list. So these 64 communities were also trying to get into the program like you, but were not selected. And so we are seeing now the transformation from community selection to a focus on broadening to neighboring communities. And so this is particularly exciting because the success of this project can potentially lead to us gaining even further support to launch other great hyper local projects that we have in the AB 617 communities, like to launch them statewide. So that is something that's I'm very passionate about, this upcoming project. And then the second bullet, which is my last update for today, is the board's approval of the appointment of 26 new nominees and 9 alternates to the consultation group. So the members will serve a 4-year term as an advisory board to the Community Air Protection Program. The consultation group presents an important opportunity for a diverse group of representatives with different perspectives, expertise, and experience to advise CARB on the implementation of Blueprint 2.0 moving forward. They also help draft the Blueprint 2.0 as well. And I'm excited to share that one of our own SELA community members made it through the application rounds and will be representing SELA at the table. And it is Ms. Jasmine Beltran. So congratulations to Ms. Beltran. And we have a kickoff meeting to set up for February 8th from 1 to 4 p.m. And I'll share the details as soon as we finish planning for the meeting. So like always, as your liaison, if there's anything that comes to mind later, please reach out to me and you can send me an email or give me a phone call. And yeah, I love staying in contact with you. So let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. Thank you, Adriana. I know we have your contact info. I thought it was up there on that slide, but okay. Thank you for that update. Of course, I think the CSE knows how to get in touch with you, but if they don't, feel free to pass the message along to me and I will send it on to Adriana. Does anyone have any questions or anything regarding that update? That's awesome about Jasmine being on the consultation group. I did know that Jasmine had already let me know. So thank you.
Nice. Yes, we're super excited for that.
Thank you, Jasmine. All right. Okay, I guess that's it for now. Thank you, Adriana. And I'll go ahead and ask for the next slide. Okay. As you can see here, our CSC meeting is winding down. So I'd like to ask if anyone has any recommendations for future agenda topics. If so, please raise your hand, drop it in the chat, or email me. For instance, CSC member Amber Rivera with Communities for a Better Environment recently gave us some agenda topic suggestions for our next CSC meeting that we are taking into account for our next one, like I said, in October. So we really appreciate that. Thank you, Amber. Amber, did you have a question? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm gonna add on another topic, or maybe I don't know if it's a topic, but it's something the team could look into. I had a member who they live on the near the intersection of Soto and East Lawson. And there's like I'll drop the address in the chat. I tried to find them an AQMD find tool, and it wasn't happening. But basically, I can't tell if it's a metal recycler, a metal scrape, or a metal processing facility, but it's the one right next to the Target. And basically, it's been smelling weird, and a lot of dust comes in this area, truck traffic. But again, I couldn't find it at AQMD find tool. So I'm just hoping maybe someone on the team, if they can follow up with me an email or maybe an update in October, that'd be great. Some members have been raising this flag, like they've been flagging this issue for a while now, but it seems to like kind of slip the cracks here and there. But that is something because we teach some of them how to use the find tool. And they're like, oh, we couldn't find it, and I'm like, oh, let me try. Hasn't happened. But this dust, it comes and goes. It's not all the time, but it has been kind of an issue, and I guess it has been building up because of summer. I'm guessing it's busy. But yeah, again, I'm happy to follow offline with folks, or maybe it could be an update. And I do appreciate y'all following up on the Sterigenics and its connection to the executive order, because that's something that's been pretty big. So yeah, an update would be really cool for that one. And that's it for me. Thank you so much.
Great. I was just writing that down. Thank you very much, Amber. And Liz, please go ahead. Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, amongst a similar vein, our area here in Southgate has had various odor complaints. My husband pointed a new one out, and it kind of goes back to figuring out how to figure out where smells come from. I usually had a sense to smell that was very nitrogen-like, and I think I barely figured out what it was at our recent council meeting where several community members brought up concerns with the local waste facility transfer station, which makes a lot of sense because it always seemed like the smell originated from there. But it also brought up a concern that whether our city had been sharing those odor complaints with AQMD and what the regulations are like, how you guys work together to address those issues, and whether you guys work together to address those issues. I know that that's been kind of a problem we've had with interagency collaboration with issues like this, and so I don't know if that's something that maybe we could go through again, just using, because I know that usually, and this is what I've been doing too, at least locally, is planning to put a report using the smog number, which seems kind of not intuitive, but I mean that's just the way to report these things, right?
It is, and it's the best way to do it. It might seem odd at times, but it is the best way to do it. That way it can be tracked and the whole, team is aware of it. They can contact you back or the person reporting it. So we definitely do want to recommend that still, Liz, but I do think we have people on the line, staff from our compliance and enforcement division, so maybe they would like to jump in. Victor or Yasmin, if you have a better suggestion regarding how we work with the city of Southgate and collaborate, that type of thing. If not, we will take your advice or take your question into account, Liz, and we could speak to it for the next meeting. But
Hi,
definitely using that tool, our 1-800-CUT smog line is the best. Oh, and I see Victor jumped on, so I'll let him go ahead and talk now.
Hi, good evening. This is Victor Yip. I'm the Assistant Deputy Executive Officer for the Compliance and Enforcement Division. And yeah, those are good questions, and Gina hit it right on the head. It's the best way to notify us is through filing our complaint line. And specifically in Southgate, I know there are some concerns about, a waste transfer facility or a composting facility, and those things kind of fall in different programs of our enforcement program. So with the transfer station, we do have certain rules that address that operation. We also have our public nuisance rule to address odors if we confirm enough complaints. For the green waste facility, though, when we get odor complaints from the green waste facility, we'll need to refer that complaint over to what is called the local enforcement agency. It's the LEA. And we're in the process of ramping that up, kind of formalizing that process, making contacts with the different city entities, the different LEAs, and collaborating with them. Kind of more broadly, though, we are involved in the industrial use task force, where we work with county agencies that talk about conditional use permits and issues that arise from other aspects, and sometimes we do join them on inspections to evaluate any issues. And so, bottom line is the best way to notify us is to contact us at that 1-800-CUT smog line.
And that's been the difficult thing with me, and I don't know how fast you guys are to come and address or pinpoint the smell, because it's, at least for me, it was hard to pinpoint what facility it was coming from. And even now that you brought up, the recycling, the compost or the waste area, I wouldn't even know which one to put the blame on. Sorry, I'm feeding my baby right now.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And we don't want to put the burden on the community members to have to figure that out before calling us. When you give us a call, our inspectors will call you back, and you can kind of describe those things. And our inspectors are trained to try to pinpoint where the issues are coming from. And so, based on that conversation with the community members, we can set up our investigation, we can launch our investigation and try to really pinpoint that issue.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz, and thank you, Victor. While we have you here, Victor, it sounds like, what Amber Rivera was just speaking to a moment ago. She was asking about that metal processing facility. It would be best, I know she's talking about it at the next meeting, but it would be best, right, if someone such as herself called it in to our 1-800-CUT-SMOG line now. That way it can be investigated, tracked, looked into, correct?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. The best thing to do is to give us a call when they're experiencing some kind of issue. I mean, a lot of times if we get a call that says, "Oh, this happened last week," or a couple of days ago, and it's really hard for us to verify that it was happening at that moment. So yeah, definitely give us a call back. Report that as it's happening, and that kind of puts it into our system.
Okay, and well, thank you for that, Victor. While we've been talking, I've been getting emails from the team. Thank you, telling me things, Amber, that it looks like you're referring to a place called Kramer Metals. I'm not sure. That's the address you gave. So we could talk about that more. And like Victor is saying, if you have a complaint and want to report it, that would be the proper way to do it, using our CUT-SMOG line, of course.
Right. Noted. And my staff has told me that it is Kramer Metals, which would fall under our Rule 1460. It deals with scrap metal yards, and there's a lot of housekeeping practices that are required by that rule. Also a report that they need to send in, letting us know, their activities. And so if any of the community members suspect that they're not following those housekeeping practices, definitely give us a call, and we'll get eyes on it. In terms of the facility itself, they don't require air quality permits with us, but they are still under that rule that does require best management practices to reduce dust from their facility.
Great. Thank you very much, Victor.
Thank you.
And I think Pedro's been putting all sorts of good information in the chat for you, Amber. So thank you so much, Pedro. Okay, Liz, did you have another question, or is that your hand up from before? I think it's her hand up from before. So, okay, my bad. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, as far if anyone has any other recommendations or anything, please go ahead and let me know after this meeting via email. And as far as the next steps, we will continue with SERP implementation. And we will communicate with you all primarily through email, because as you've told me, that's your preferred method. Next slide, please. Okay, does anyone have any community events that you would like fellow CSC members to know about? It's really important for us to be in the community, as we'd like to participate whenever possible. So if any upcoming events come to mind, please feel free to share here or contact me. Does anyone have anything right now they'd like to tell us about? Okay.
This weekend is going to be Solache's new office opening. I was trying to find the email about it. It's not my event, but it's definitely something I'm attending. And since his name was mentioned earlier, I think it would be great to just make our presence, and as he has been a part of the HMD board, I believe.
Right. Thank you, Liz. Oh, I need to go through the chat and find that. I missed that earlier, but thank you very much. And yes, we would definitely love to be a part of that and amplify his message and anything related to Solache, of course. Okay. Thank you for that. Are there any other events? No? Okay. Next slide, please. Just a reminder that the CSE is open to new members. So if you know of anyone that may be interested in joining, please let me know. Or you could pass along, my contact info. We would just need them to fill out an online CSE interest form and return it to me. Next slide, please. Okay, this slide here just has all the contact information for your primary Team SELA members. That's myself and Pedro Piqueras and Alice Yang. And I see Liz has her hand up. Please go ahead, Liz.
Sorry, I'm just really bad at lowering after. But I shared the information for that event. the chat.
Oh, I do see it. Okay, yes. This Saturday, 9 to 1, Paramount District Office. Okay. That's great. And I'm going to put this in an email as well. So thank you very much. Next slide, please. Okay, I see here there's another comment I may have missed here. Oh, a board member is Assistant Marissa is here. Yes, Maricela Santana. Oh, thank you so much for being here with us. I apologize, I did not see you sooner, but thank you for being here and joining us. And if anyone has now public comment, I would like to go ahead and move to that part of the meeting. If anyone that didn't get a chance to speak has something, of course, throw it out there now. Otherwise, public comment is open. I see a question from Rudy in the chat asking me to send the list over, and I'm not sure which list that is. Rudy, if you could elaborate.
If you can send over the list with your information and Pedro's. I don't have Pedro's
Oh,
information.
yeah, the contact info, sure.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay, thank you. Okay, everyone. I guess we do not have any public comment. So that concludes our meeting. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone very much for being here. We really appreciate you being here, for continuing to be a voice for your community. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your continued participation on the CSC. And I just want to say, please take care of yourselves. Please look out for each other if you can, and have a good night. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Good night. See you. And it's great seeing you back.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be back. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, Liz. Bye, Rudy. Bye, Jasmine.
Thank you.
Bye.